When I stepped up for the challenge, I told my tribe mates, if it's a puzzle, we are cooked.
I don't know, man. Seems like Rizgod got it wrong. What an insane comeback from that challenge. And that's not the only crazy thing that happened this episode. There's bodily fluids literally flying everywhere, so stick around. Episode 1 came in hot, and we're breaking it down in order, right? We're gonna go from the Marooning and Supply Challenge, then down to Camp Life, and then we'll talk about Rizzo versus Alex for the second chance at Tribe Supplies, and then the Immunity and Reward Challenge, and then finally Tribal Council, where someone is the first person voted out of Survivor 49. My name is Aaron Rodgers, and this is Chasing Fire. The Marooning Challenge. So right off the boat, Jason admits he was the male alternate, and he didn't find out he was going to be on the season until 30 minutes the night before the premiere aired. The female alternate was MC, and she also came in at the last minute. And the cast knows this because they weren't in the original cast photo. And then Jake came in with his super compelling story. His dad is losing his eyesight to glaucoma, and the fact that Jake is going to miss the birth of his son while he's out there. And as a dad who's chasing my own shot to be out there playing this game, it hit me kind of hard. But also, this is, a once-in-a-lifetime shot. I give him props for this, but will these deep and heartfelt stories help him form a bond with his tribe? Or does it paint a giant finale threat target later on? Meanwhile, Sage proves she's already Survivor's chaos poet. She doesn't hold anything back. She lets them know, she's peed 3 times off the back of the boat, which I thought was hilarious. There's no filter, pure charm, and yeah, she's apparently taking application for Survivor 49's first aqua dump confessional. So for the Marooning Challenge, they broke it up into pairs that handled different stages, right? For the Kella tribe, I think putting Annie on that first stage was probably a mistake because she wasn't running fast at all. And it looked like she was having a pretty hard time carrying that massive block back and forth. I think it was really hard for her. I think if they had played around with the positions and swapped out her with Alex, Kella's start would look pretty different. But the Hina tribe was able to close out the W. But here's the real question. Did Hina win because of the last minute alternate swaps? Jason's puzzle brain and MC's athleticism definitely flipped the script. But honestly, it's tough to say if they would have won since we never got to see the original players who got sent home before the game even started.
Hina wins the Marooning Challenge! Hunt, Machete, blend with their tribe!
Let's talk a little bit about camp life for each tribe. So Hina, Steven will now forever be known as Discount Ryan Reynolds. That was super funny. And I honestly, the more I thought about it and I looked at him, I'm like, damn, he does look like a Discount Ryan Reynolds. He's running a pretty social game early on too, telling everyone that they're the person he wants to play with. I mean, this is a great strategy early on, but it's definitely risky long term. But there's some pretty sweet vibes going on at Hina. Jason, Christina, MC, and Sophie are all weaving palm fronds, talking Green Day and Paramore, and just building a solid connection. And Matt is one of my favorites so far. But the thing is, he's super out of the loop socially. It wasn't aired on the episode, but because of his lack of social connection, he actually went out hunting for an idol, which he never found. Moving on to Uli, my way too early winner pick based on energy alone, Nate. He's smooth, pretty social, he doesn't get rattled easily, and he's a super fan, but nonchalant about it. And I think he's got a really good shot at winning the whole shebang. And Rizgod, in preseason, he was talking all this big game, right? But he's playing it down with his tribe. He doesn't have any crazy nicknames. He just has his head down, working and trying to fit in. And this is honestly a solid move for him, and it allows him to manage his threat level. Moving on to Kella. So Jake's shoe bandit bit was a little over the top, I think. I wasn't really vibing with it. I thought at first Jake might steal it only to heroically return it, right? And try to build a connection from it. Nope, he was just ruffling feathers for the fun of it. And now we've got Annie, who refused to go with the rest of the tribe to get water at the well. Seems like she's just asking to be voted out. Quick pause. If you're new here, This channel isn't just about recapping Survivor. Chasing Fire is about digging into the strategy, the stories, and what makes this game the absolute best social experiment on TV. And I'm chasing my own shot at Survivor. And while I wait for that call, I'm breaking it all down with you. So if you love Survivor and you're fired up about this season, do me a favor, bonk that like button and consider subscribing. Let's ride this thing together. Let's talk about the second chance at Tribe Supplies, Rizzo versus Alex. On paper, Alex should smoke this challenge. He loves puzzles. Rizzo literally says he's negative 100 on a scale of 1 to 100 at puzzles and somehow still wins. So Alex finishes his board puzzle and then leaves it to go dig for his wheel. Then Rizzo walks over and matches his pieces against Alex's, and then Alex at one point throws his body over the board so Rizzo can't cheat. Pretty funny.
I had him in the right way. I just not the right guy. Hey, buddy. Sorry, buddy. You're giving me all right. Good boy. Damn, fun boy.
But I mean, it took Rizzo to a while to even notice that he was missing his last little bit of puzzle pieces in the coconut.
Looking at this puzzle board, something doesn't seem right. Something is missing.
Am I missing? Oh my God, guys. You want to see that? Rizzo.
But even with that huge head start that Alex had, Rizzo was able to take home the W. And here's my takeaway on it. Alex's single choice to not scramble his puzzle after he was done with this cost him the challenge. This would have saved Alex so much time. He should have just unscrambled the puzzle so that Rizzo couldn't see. Moving on to the immunity and reward challenge. Here's a fun little behind the scenes nugget that came straight from Entertainment Weekly, who had a reporter on site all the way through the first tribal council. So right before the immunity challenge kicked off, Jeff Probst apparently walked over to the EW reporter and Mike Bloom from Parade and asked them each to give him a random word that he can sneak into the challenge commentary. So Mike chose the word behemoth and the EW writer went with stupendous. Probst nodded, kind of smirked like, all right, let's see what I can do with this, and then walked away. And sure enough, during the snake haul, he actually worked them both in. Check it out.
Ben and Nate have passed Keller. Let's go! A stupendous effort to the behemoth serpent to get them back in this.
Oh my God. And then we've got Nicole, who literally spits water all over Jeremiah's face to clear the mud.
The mud over your eyes. Is that the first one?
Disgusting, but effective. And then later on ends up projectile vomiting everywhere. Not really sure quite why, but I'm guessing it was due to anxiety or paranoia. This is one of those moments where you think, damn, there really is no privacy out there. So Hina ends up winning that challenge. Uli takes second and Kella takes last. Again. That's 0 for 3 for Kellas in one single episode. Oof. Well, someone's got to go home, so we go to Tribal Council. With Jake, Alex, Sophie, and Jeremiah pretty tight, the tribe narrows down the vote to either Anna or Nicole. Nicole doesn't even play her shot in the dark, even though she said earlier that if, it gets fishy, she was definitely going to. So Nicole ends up going home, and I called that one pretty early on into the episode. And there was no hugs, no goodbyes. It was just awkward air and a quiet walk into darkness. But I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. Would you share your biggest real life story on day one to build trust, or would you hide it to protect your endgame? Let me know why and drop your take down below in the comments. And if you're new here, I'm Aaron, a dad of 2 and a die-hard Survivor fan who's chasing his own shot at this game. I'll see you next week.